Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing my 6-week postpartum update. It's pretty crazy to think that it's been 6 weeks, but at the same time, because we've gone through multiple hospital visits and NICU time and then coming home, I feel like it's been a really long time at the same time. So I just wanted to kind of talk about how I'm doing postpartum. This is going to be all about my healing and recovery. And then I also wanted to talk about the breast pump that I'm using, because I get a lot of questions about exclusively pumping, and I didn't want to go into like full details on how that all works for me, but I did want to talk about the breast pump that I'm using. It has been extremely useful for helping me find the time to pump and just kind of fit it into my daily schedule with a toddler and a newborn, because it is wireless, or it can be. You can plug it in and kind of just use it like a normal pump and just sit somewhere and have it charge while you're pumping. But I usually charge it in between pumps, and while I'm pumping, I don't have it plugged in. So I'll talk more about that later on in this video, but I just wanted to kind of update you guys on how I'm liking that pump in this video as well. So I did have my 6-week postpartum appointment. It was 2 days ago now. And at that appointment, they're just pretty much making sure there's no like lasting issues from the pregnancy, from the labor, delivery, any of that. And they did check my incision at 2 weeks postpartum, but they checked it again at 6 weeks, and it still looks great. There's no infection, there's no issues with the healing at all. And then at this appointment, they did do a pelvic exam. They did not do one at my 2-week appointment, but at this one they did, because they wanted to just make sure that the uterus went down back to where it's supposed to be. And so she said everything looked good. So that's good to hear. And then at that appointment, they do give you the okay to start exercising again, pretty much go back to your normal life. You can do anything that you want to do, because at that point, everything should be healed enough so that you shouldn't be in danger of like hurting anything or delaying your recovery or anything. I will say though that at this point, although most of my pain is gone, there's still some lasting things that I notice that kind of make me want to be a little bit more careful when I'm exercising or doing certain things, because it just feels like if I push myself too far, I might like pull a muscle, or just, I don't know, it just feels like I could do damage, because I just don't feel 100% yet. But I do feel 1,000 times better than I did like 1 week, 2 weeks postpartum. So in terms of any like issues that I'm still having at this point, I am not bleeding anymore. I stopped, I would say, about 4 or 5 weeks completely. After like 3 weeks, it pretty much went away, but every once in a while, every couple days, a little bit would come back. But at this point, I am 100% done with bleeding. And the pain of like standing up or moving around in the incision area, that has pretty much gone away as well. I can go on long walks and not have any pain. I can even go like up hills. I go like up a hill pushing my stroller on this walk that I do pretty frequently, and that doesn't even cause any problems. I feel really good when I'm walking around, moving around. The only pain that I really feel like I feel still at this point is the little bit of tingling between your belly button and the incision, and that is from cutting through, I think it's some nerves. So that lasts a while, and I still feel that at this point. But other than that, most of the pain has gone away. I am able to sleep on my stomach now, which is awesome, because that's like my favorite way to sleep. But it did take me a while. I probably didn't start doing that until I was like 4 or 5 weeks postpartum. And even at this point, I still have to be careful, because I feel like if I move too quickly when I'm like on my stomach, I feel like I could like, I don't know, like I feel like little sharp pains sometimes when I'm like moving too much on my stomach. So I just like, when I'm moving around in bed, I just try to be careful and go slow, and then usually I don't have any pain or anything. I just had to stop and help my newborn, because she's trying to put herself to sleep, and she's 6 weeks old, so it doesn't always go very well. But on that note, I did do a 1-month update on her, and I'll do another update for her at 2 months. So look out for that if you're interested in how she's doing at this point. But I just wanted to talk about how I'm doing today in this video. since I'm 6 weeks now and I can work out, I'm definitely trying to focus more on eating healthy and exercising, because I've been noticing that with a toddler and a newborn, I just need more energy. I need to feel better. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on the last few days, and really like going forward, I want to implement some changes in my daily life. So I'm going to be documenting a lot of that on Instagram. I've already put up a few things on my stories. I do have a highlight that's all about like fitness postpartum. So if you want to jump over to my Instagram, you could follow me there and just see updates on how I'm doing, how it's all going for me on a daily basis, and maybe get some inspiration if you are also postpartum. But I am trying to count my calories because I've never honestly taken it that seriously, and I think it's been really good for me to just kind of get an idea of how many calories are in things, what's a reasonable portion. For me, I'm trying to eat around 1,800 calories a day, and I am pumping, so you do burn a little bit of calories doing that. I'm also trying to just do a really light exercise, some type of cardio every day right now. I'll probably add in some strength training and maybe more vigorous cardio later on, but right now I'm just trying to do 20-30 minutes of a simple cardio, so that burns maybe 100-200 calories there. So that's kind of my goal right now, and I'm just trying to be as consistent as I can. I'm only on day 3 right now, so I mean, I haven't had enough time to really like fall off the bandwagon yet, but it's going well, and I do already feel a little bit better. Trying to drink more water as well, so that has been good, and I hope that it's manageable and I am able to keep it up with my 2 kids. But I think the way I'm doing it, where I'm just really trying to fit in whatever I can in terms of exercise, whether it be with my kids or during nap time, I feel like it's definitely manageable for me. So like I mentioned, I am exclusively pumping. It's very hard to do in terms of like time and just mentally, and then your body also, I feel like most of the time it can't keep up, or my milk supply just isn't what I need it to be when I'm exclusively pumping. So it's a struggle. I'm still doing that full time. I pump every single time pretty much that my daughter eats. And sometimes I will even do like power pumping, where I'll pump and then like take a 10-minute break and then pump for another 10 minutes, just to kind of get it into my body that we need more milk. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of tips and tricks to getting more milk, and usually none of them work for me, and I don't know what it is, but I do pretty much everything I can think of. I eat certain foods, I do power pumping, and I drink more water, and I don't really see any increase. But I am using a pump that is making it really convenient, so that I can pump in the car when I'm helping my toddler, playing with my toddler, pretty much anything I'm doing, I can be pumping, because it doesn't have to plug in. I can just charge it, and then it actually lasts, I would say maybe 3 or 4, maybe even more pumps before I need to recharge it. So it's really awesome. So this is the pump that I am using, and it's called Ameda Mya, I believe. That's how I say it, Ameda Mya. And it's just small, and it plugs in, and it has like these little tubes that, you know, all pumps have, that connect to the actual part that is going to collect the milk. So this is what that looks like. I would say it has maybe 1 or 2 more pieces to it than the Medela pumps do, but it's not that much more complicated. It's pretty easy to clean and take apart and put back together. But I really love it. I really love the convenience, and honestly, I've been using my Medela and that one kind of back and forth. I was, at least for the first month or so, and I would say this pump does either the equivalent or sometimes a little bit more than the Medela, and I think it's going to be different for everybody. But for me, that suction power just works really well, and you can actually put it up and down. It goes from 1 to 10, so if you want like a really intense suction, then you can go up to 10, or you can, what I do is usually like start kind of slow, and then I'll like put it up as I feel comfortable, because usually at the beginning it's like really sore, and then you can kind of like increase it as you go. So I never usually get up to a 10, but you can if you need to. So I think that it does a really good job. How great of a job it does, combined with the ability to not be plugged in, is just amazing to me. I honestly use it a lot in the car when I'm driving to and from places, because then when I get home, I just take it off, I throw the milk in the fridge, and then I can take care of my kids when I get home. Because you know, when you get home from places, it's chaos and both kids are hungry and you're hungry and it's just a hot mess. So for me to already have the pumping done is really convenient. I swear I just heard something in my house. It sounds like my newborn's asleep and my toddler is supposed to be asleep, but that kid just wakes up and like throws stuff or hits the walls or whatever and doesn't cry, so you never know if they're awake or not. If you guys want to know more about that pump, or just my thoughts on pumping and exclusive pumping, then definitely leave comments down below and I can answer those. I can do a video on it eventually if that's what you're interested in. I thought I would maybe wait a little bit longer so I'm a little bit farther into it and just kind of see how my body does, because I feel like I'm gonna have to stop fairly soon because my milk production is pretty much staying the same, maybe even decreasing a little bit. And I've always kind of told myself that if I'm pumping like less than half of what she's drinking on a daily basis, then I'll probably stop, because it's just so much work to pump like 8 times a day. So I don't know, we'll see how long I can last. Right now I would say I'm pumping about 75% of her daily needs, and so the rest we're supplementing with formula, but we'll see how it goes. But that is kind of where I'm at 6 weeks postpartum. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you are not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. I make postpartum, newborn, life with a toddler and a newborn, all of those type of videos. We do vlogs, I do sit down videos, and I also do some cleaning videos here and there. So if that sounds interesting to you, I would love to have you on this channel. Definitely hit the bell button if you want to know when I post a video, because I've mentioned before, I'm just not very consistent right now because I'm still trying to get into the swing of everything with 2 kids and trying to fit in filming and editing. So I'm not sure when I'm going to post videos, so definitely hit that bell if you just want to know every time one of my videos goes up. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.